decided to start vlogging while I eat because the only people that I talk to while I'm eating is no one, and I love a good conversation. So I thought I'd have dinner at home with you. If you want to know what I'm eating, because you can't really see on my plate right now, but please go to TikTok because it is there so I can show you everything that I got from Whole Foods. I'm having an amazing dinner right now. And I have my little, it's like, what's it called? Dry, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what people are into these days, but like, I'm drinking watermelon juice because it's super good for you. It's good for your, you know what? It's good for your hair. It's good for your skin. It's hydrating. Oh, I love watermelon. Any day of the week, any day of the year, I'm there. But I wanted to talk to you girls about starting fresh, which we talked about a little bit, but I also want to talk to you girls about like, what does that mean in our day-to-day life? What does that mean if you're single specifically, you know? And for me, I think that this month of January, I think about this so vividly when it was January last year and I was literally moving into my place that you see now. And believe it or not, it took me a whole year to furnish my place. Why? Because I was indecisive. I didn't know what my look was. And you know, when you decorate, when you furnish, when you do interior designing, you like have to marry the design that you pick, because by the time, because you know, you can't change your mind after all the things that you bought. So you have to be like very committed. And first you have to understand this about me. And that I like to find meaning in my life. For me, I'm not just living life every day, like I just wake up and go or whatever. No, that's not what I'm doing. Hold on. I love sweet potato, but I was saying that through interior designing this place, I learned so much about myself through this process because, like I said, I don't take life for granted. I wish that I could just turn off my brain and I just wake up and go. And I guess I wish and I don't, because I used to be like that, right? It's like everyone, we kind of take our everyday to day for granted. And sometimes awareness is kind of crazy because you can't turn it off, like you're always aware. So this year, what I'm trying to do is just be more present. And to be honest, since I've started vlogging, I feel the most grounded because I get to see myself on camera and see my growth and my confidence build over time. And this is exactly what I needed. But the other thing that I learned about myself, aside from the fact that I, realized that it takes me forever to make a decision on interior designing, what I really learned from that experience is that I was not committed. I have a problem with commitment, or I think I had, because I don't have a problem with commitment now. Now I'm very committed. And not that I wasn't committed to certain areas of my life, but I feel like overall this fear of commitment really stood out to me with the fact that it took me a year to furnish my place. And what I learned about myself when it comes to commitment is that I'm afraid to make the wrong decision. And we can't live our life like that. Maybe you watching this right now, you feel the exact same way. It's really hard for you to make a decision. And I make decisive decisions every day of my life because of what I do for a living, right? But when it comes to my personal life, I couldn't do like committed decisions. And then I realized that part of me not being committed in my personal life meant that I wasn't committed to myself. And then I started thinking, I believe this quote, okay, which is, it says, you are the world pushed out. And if that's true, if that's how I live my life, if that is my philosophy on life, if I believe in that philosophy, then that means that, say for example, in relationships, or say for example, in my business endeavors, like my entrepreneurial endeavors, if nothing has worked out, I'm projecting, like the world that I'm involved with is projecting itself back to me, which means that the reason why anything that has been committed, that has been certain, that has been secure, that is steady and stable when it comes to romance and when it comes to, say, business, it's because I'm not committed. Like if I'm telling you, if I believe in the philosophy that you are the world pushed out, not having commitment comes from the fear, or And not committing comes from the fear of settling, comes from the fear of being behind, comes from the fear of not relying, like not believing or not, I guess you can say it's like, I can't rely on things. I can't rely on people. I can't rely. The whole time I've been living in my apartment, I've been thinking, what if I don't like it? What if I furnish this entire place and I don't want to live alone anymore? What if I want to be a part of a family again? And, you know, because I am living solo, I am living alone for the first time. And I'm just like, well, you know, what if I don't like it? And so the whole time I'm like, I don't want to waste money spending on something I'm not going to be committed to. That was my whole process. Mind you, this apartment, it's my luxury apartment. It is my dream apartment. And I did it. And I didn't take a minute to just relish in the fact that I was successful because I committed to one action that changed my life. And let me tell you, choosing to live alone and choosing to change my life drastically, literally overnight. Like when I tell you that this time last year, I was crying, figuring out if I made the right decision, you know, with the decision that I made to move forward with my life and move on. And I wasn't sure. And here I am a year later. I look really bomb. I look so pretty, but I don't look pretty because I look like physically pretty, although I did lose a lot of, it feels like I lost a lot of weight, but what it really was is I talked about this, I lost a lot of trauma weight and I lost a lot of stress weight. But this whole time I was not sure of myself. And now I'm more sure than ever about where I want to go in life. I'm committed to myself, my goals, and I'm committed to my health, and I'm committed to my self-love, more importantly, over everything. And I'm committed to God actually above everything else. And I understand now why spirit, you know, for me, spirit is like the universe, spirit is God, spirit is the highest power of all things. I was out of faith and I was out of hope and I was out of belief because of the constant disappointments in my life, from business to romantic and even personal life, right? Like personal relationships. And I just was hurting for such a long time, and I'm so good at just pushing things back and like just being unemotional until I was pushed to isolate myself even further. I have been on a spiritual awakening journey, as I've mentioned to you girls in the past, especially in the last video with the Get Ready With Me for New Year's. Make sure you watch that. But I talked about that, and I wanted to get, the funny thing is, I wanted to get closer to my spirituality. And I really didn't know how to get there other than like praying at night once, like, oh, our Father, you know, who art in heaven, you know, da-da-da-da. And then obviously my meditation, that was like part of like my other type of prayer, right? But then when I moved, I had no one else to turn to. I mean, I did, family, friends, but you know, you're still alone in your space. So I turned to God, I turned to the universe, I turned to manifestation, I turned to meditation again, I turned to myself. And right now I'm at a place where I'm not attached to anything. I'm only attached to my heart and my soul and spirit, and allowing my mind, my body and soul and spirit connection to align so that it can quantum jump me into the next chapter of my life, which is where I'm at right now. I still can't believe that I'm sitting in front of you doing this video, having dinner, which is getting cold. A year later, when I was so afraid to post online, I was afraid that if someone saw it, that I knew that they would like bring it up and I'd be embarrassed or something. But it's like that, this is what I want to do. I want to reach more girls. I want to reach everyone, but I really want to reach more girls, more women who need to see someone live their life on their own terms, to see someone who's reclaimed all their self-power, all their power back, to see someone go from being anxious, attachment style, to being dependent on yourself, to see someone that's growing and healing all at the same time. And I was just nervous. But honestly, truly, my purpose in life, I have realized, is my job is to, or my purpose, or what I feel a close call to, is to make people feel seen, understood, welcomed, appreciated, and like they matter, because I didn't have that growing up, and I didn't even have that in my 20s, and I'm learning that now in my early 30s, and I couldn't be more excited about this chapter in my life. And I'm really happy that we get to have dinner, and I get to have dinner with you guys and be on camera and talk and just see myself actually truly literally glow up. And I have some aspirations and some goals of where I want to be. And just know that if you are following me on what's it called, on Discord, then, or even on Discord, on our private like little group chat, then you'll understand. I'll be sharing more about like what my day-to-day is, because I want to make new friends. That's the other vibe I'm on. I'm not interested in being in a relationship anymore. I think that I was chasing to be in a relationship or resolving my relationships that I was hoping would work. I'm truly in love with my relationship to myself and to God, to the universe, and my journey that I'm on in this new chapter of my life. It really does feel like a fresh start. It doesn't even feel like doing it all over or doing it or getting a second chance. None of that. Like, the energy is just so, we're starting fresh. We're living the life that we should have had we been molded in a different way as we were growing up in the theta stage. And that's the age where we learn all our behaviors. And the age group, I want to say it's like 3 to 7. 3 years old is when we start making long-term memories. And 7 is like, 7 or 8, I think is the age group. But, I'm living life for the first time like I should have been a long time ago. Had I been raised in an environment where I was empowered, where my decision-making wasn't looked at being bossy, or where my firm decision-making wasn't looked at to be being angry, or if I wasn't smiling all the time, I wasn't told like, are you upset? Like, it's like it made me operate in different ways where I didn't realize that I was operating. So I talked to my friend about like even doing like subconscious behaviors that I wasn't aware of, like overperforming. Like, say I'm like, right now I'm really chill and people don't realize how chill I am, because when I'm out in the real world, people are like, but you're so like outgoing. And it's like, well, I am. But then I started thinking like, am I just like overdoing it? Like, is there a part of me that's like overperforming or like whatever to just like, like I'm friendly and I want people to feel welcome, but am I subconsciously like almost overextending myself, because it's like I have this conscious thing in my brain, or it's like my parents would be like, are you upset? Or my family would be like, are you upset? And I'm like, and I would tell them I wasn't, but like, oh, like, you look upset. Maybe they should have asked themselves, are you upset? What's wrong? Right? Rather than being like, fix your face kind of thing. And so that wasn't empowering. And so sometimes it's cultural and it's not on purpose. So I don't blame my parents obviously at all. They did the best they could with what they could. But part of this spiritual awakening journey and part of this personal growth journey is also learning how to unparent yourself. And I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, girl. I'm not even a life coach. I am just a woman, a young woman at that, getting her life on track towards the future ahead of me. I've already accomplished so much. I launched my magazine, I launched my agency, and while those things didn't necessarily pan out exactly the way that I wanted, they were also very successful. I'm also a double major. I'm the first in my family to graduate and go into higher education. I also mentioned this in my other vlog, my getting ready with me on New Year's, that, from my dad's side of the family, he didn't even graduate. He didn't even finish elementary because he started working when he was like 5. But I remember my dad is from a third world country, right? So there goes that. And he wasn't born rich. So I have literally I really came down to earth to just reset, to change the history of my family and to change my life for the betterment of our entire generation. Like, I really do believe that some of us are chosen. We are looked at as the black sheep, but really we are on our own path. We are meant to be placed in families like that to awaken them. And you are a blessing. So if you ever felt like you were the black sheep in your family and your family doesn't get you and everyone thinks you're different and you just don't connect with anyone, go through that journey and spend time going inwards, because you could be doing so much healing for your family. And it doesn't have to be a choice that that's why you're doing it and you shouldn't. But when you change, the people around you, 2 things happen. Either they get inspired or they dissipate. And sometimes family, even if it's blood family, they're not always going to be around, and we choose our family. So if you're having struggles with your family regarding anything, any family issues, and stay on the journey of like self-exploration and self-discovery, because it is so important. I am not the woman that I was a year ago, let alone a month ago, and we're barely like what is this, January? Today's January 6th. So I would say I'm starting off the new year on a great note, and I'm definitely gonna be spending more time on TikTok because I want to spend more time with all of you. Like I said, I'm craving new friendships. I want to have events. Like I'm envisioning us having events in some of my favorite cities like Atlanta, New York, where else? LA, Dubai. Areas that I want to just meet my friends. I feel like you guys are all my friends, and that's the vibe I'm trying to be on, you know? So I have to take a bite. This is getting cold. It is so good. Mm-mm-mm. And this only cost me $14, and it's like bomb salmon, sweet potato, kale, so delicious. Whole Foods. You don't have a Whole Foods. They might have a Publix in Miami. Girl, I want to have an event in Miami. But anywho, so I just wanted to take a minute to have dinner with you guys, and maybe we do this more. Dinner at home, you know, dinner at home with team. I don't know. But we'll definitely have more dinners at home because, well, we'll also have dinner. We'll go on a date. You know, we'll go on a date since we are in our self-love, divine feminine energy journey, which is why I look so feminine, by the way. I started doing glamour work, and I'm going to tell you more about that. You can check the description below so you can sign up for my newsletter, because there I'm going to tell you like what this is. That's the other thing I was going to tell you. Sign up for my newsletter, but also sign up for my Discord, because we're going to talk about all things divine feminine energy, personal development. Don't forget to listen to my podcast as well, because that's going to be very helpful. But the reason why I look and feel so feminine, the reason why I feel like I've lost weight is because I'm on this divine feminine energy journey, or it's because I'm on this divine feminine journey, and I've decentered men completely from my mind. I've decentered the need, or I've decentered myself. I've also disconnected myself from feeling like the shoe is gonna drop at any time soon. Like what I mentioned about my apartment, and how I was feeling like I was just waiting for something to go wrong and I was gonna have to move out, you know, whether I didn't like it or the payments went up and it was past a certain amount that I didn't want to commit to. Yeah, so like all of these things, like I just learned so much in the year that I've been here, and I have been on the internet for a really long time, but I decided to just pull back from social media for like the past 4 years since I've been on this journey, until I had something worth saying on the internet again. I did not want to come on YouTube or Instagram or now TikTok and come back to Snapchat and have nothing of substance to say. Like I am not a makeup girly. Like I love makeup. I mean, I used to really like makeup, but I'm more of like, I like deep conversations, you know? So like my get ready with me will like get ready with me to have like philosophical conversations, because, you know, I'm a weirdo like that. But, you know, we'll talk tea, we'll talk all of that. But right now I'm just so happy and focused on myself and where I'm going in life. And I'm really happy that my divine feminine has awakened, and learning to be secure, learning to accept that you're secure, that you're safe, that God's got you. This is why when I was talking about feeling like it's unstable and feeling like you can't commit to something, all of that, if you break it down, comes from the fear of not being able to rely on someone or something. And like I said, a lot of my traumas that I never took the time to address came from disappointments, from, you know, being disappointed, being betrayed, in different ways, right, that you could probably think of right now. But once I healed all of that and I did my affirmations and I really sat with myself and kept telling myself, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. Everything's fine now. Everything's fine now. Everything's fine now. Really believing that, and really believing that like God's got me and that I don't have to worry about anything. I just have to sharpen my intuition through meditation and prayer, and let the universe talk through me and then guide me into the next direction and give me a sign that this is where I have to go. Developing that discernment has allowed me to get to where I'm at right now. And that's why I look so feminine. That's a big part of it. It's because I'm no longer stressed. You ever heard the analogy when they say you can tell a lot about a woman by the man that she's dating if she's in her like soft state? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I'm going to start. So then I started thinking, how would I feel if I was in a relationship of my dreams with my dream partner? And I would feel secure. I would feel desired. I would feel beautiful. I will feel loved. I will feel soft. Like I'm right now, like you can just even see the change in my movement, just thinking about what I would feel like around my future husband. And I'm like, I'm gonna give that to myself. And not because I'm trying to attract my future husband. I'm not, because that's God's job. God is bringing all the things to me. My only job and your only job is to just be your real self. And the only way you're gonna get down to being your real self is by doing all of the shadow work. The other thing that you need to do and must do is you need to embody the vibration, the energy, the mental state is really what people are saying. You want to be in the mental state of the person that already has the things that you want. People keep saying energy, you gotta tap into the energy. That's so vague to me. So like, I understand it better if like, I have to be in the mental state as a person that's already there. And that's why you'll hear a lot of like the manifestation girly pops that are like, you have to like be delusional. And I'm all like, you know what? You're right. I will be delusional because I've got nothing better to do but than to daydream. So yeah, but again, that's part of the shadow work, and that's also part of the divine feminine journey. And so yeah, so we're gonna have more conversations like this, like I said, but I think this is a really great start for us on like how to just get into alignment, how to get your thoughts in order, how to pay attention to your everyday life and see what your life is telling you about where you are at currently in that moment in time. And really, this is about just being in a reflective state, you know? You really have to look at where you are right now, where you want to be, what are some of the lessons that you learned what are some of the lessons that you learned in 2024, and how are you going to do them different this time? This is all about, January is all about having a fresh start, but you cannot have a fresh start if you don't have a plan of action and if you don't have a map, a roadmap, and a cheat sheet of things that you've learned and how you're going to apply them. So I hope that tonight's dinner time gives you some perspective, because I think that's really what this is about. You know, it's about just going inwards during, you know, the winter season. Oh, I just hit my flowers. But going inward and checking in with yourself and see how you are, because that's the best way to start fresh. I'm really enjoying my time right now. I'm enjoying being single. I'm enjoying being paid. I'm enjoying, you know, my youth. I'm enjoying my body. I'm never gonna be this young or this cute. Well, I can get cuter because we are on our fitness journey, girly. That's why we're eating salmon. Okay, I ruined it, salmon. But you have to look at the TikTok because it is fire. Just trust me, the production is cute over there. But that's it. That's all I've got for you. I'm gonna get back to finish this because I'm starving and I gotta finish it and I have to heat it up. But I just want to say that I hope your first week of January is going great, and this is just your friendly girlfriend reminder to check in with yourself, go inward, take stock of your life and where you're at, and take a look at where you are physically in your 3D dimensional world, and ask yourself, is this where I want to be? Is this where I envision myself to be at this point in my life? And if not, guess what? You are the operant power. You have the 100% opportunity to change your life overnight. And when I say overnight, don't expect like an overnight change. Well, it can happen. But what I'm saying is that if you really keep to yourself and do the work consistently and you're committed to that word, you'll see the results. It took me longer because I'm very hard-headed. We just talked about it taking me a whole year because I didn't want to make a decision in my personal life about certain things. And that's why my apartment that I've been with a year to date. By the way, I moved into my new apartment on the angel number 1212. It took me this long to make simple decisions about furnishing. And then I realized what other areas am I arriving with the fear of commitment. And so I expect my life to change starting now because it already has. So yeah. Alexa, off. Alexa, off. That was Alexa. She'd be popping off. She's the only other girl that I talk to up in here. Alexa's the girl that gets it. But anyways, I'm going to let you girls now so you can enjoy the rest of your evening. I highly recommend that you watch my Get Ready With Me Girl Talk for New Year's, because it's a much needed girl talk that you need to hear. And again, I hope you're having the best first week of the new year, and I cannot wait to talk to you girls again next week. Don't forget to listen to my podcast, because you're gonna need that. It's inspiring words for the day. It's an inspiring way to kick off your mornings, and highly recommended. And then also don't forget to follow me on TikTok, and don't forget, as always, to check out my workbook journal, which is a manifestation and shadow healing journal on Amazon. It is my favorite journal, not because I made it, I always say this, but because it really is everything that you need to start your journey and start reprogramming your subconscious so that you can change your life. And I want to see you, if you want to be a content creator or a doctor or whatever, I want you girls to tag me, let me know where you're at. You know, do you need some girl talk? Do you need some advice? I do have consultations for that. So we are gonna be this just tight-knit group of girls, women, and we're gonna be on our personal growth journey the entire year, both physical, mental, and spiritual, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for us to start this journey together. So I love you girls, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.